Da 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 da. Welcome back to the podcast. We are Card Men Podcast. If you've tuned in and you don't know what's going on, it's real simple. Pokemon. If you like it, stay. If you don't, get the fuck out.
You could
bro.
also stay.
Or stay.
You could also stay.
And just not enjoy yourself if you don't like Pokemon. Okay, that was our fun little intro, but we're talking brass tacks today. We run Pokemon businesses, Business Eye.
Plural.
Business Eye. That's the plural form of business.
Is it?
Business Eye. With an I at the end. That's how it works. So he asked, first of all, I'm Damaged Cards. Hello. And this is my co-host, Mr.
CharizardBaba.
CharizardBaba. Wonderful. This is us. And you asked me a great question as we were closing, and we didn't really dive into it. I am going to ask you the same question.
Ask away.
Which is, this is how we're starting off. If I were to come to you with $1,000 cash, and I said to you, start a Pokemon business, what would you do with it?
So, first of all, the question was, if
I already
somebody,
fucked up the
you kind of fucked it up.
That's
If
okay.
somebody came up to you and asked you, I have $1,000, because why would you give me $1,000?
Good point. Good point. Yeah,
Unless
you would
you're
just
this, like,
you would probably just funnel
angel
that
investor.
into your already profitable
Angel
business.
investor with $1,000.
Fair.
So
Very fair.
if somebody came up to you or me
I said,
and asked the question, hey, I'm interested, I see what you're doing. I'm interested in getting into Pokemon. How can I go about doing that? Okay. I have $1,000 to start. Okay. Obviously, you're not going to start with, all of your money. If you have an extra $1,000, how could you start investing into Pokemon or creating it into a business? Me personally, I've done the in-person selling. I've done online selling. I've had more success with online sales. Okay. When I first started, what I did was eBay. Okay. eBay is a really nice way to kind of sell your stuff, although there are fees in this, that, the other. If you're stuck to doing in person like Facebook or local deals, you're only gonna get those people. Also, people are very picky on what they want.
can we add some specification?
Sure.
So $1,000, you would tell that person to go onto eBay and purchase and sell. Or no,
Fair. Sorry.
Get the stuff
Sorry,
in
yeah,
person.
I was already thinking that you have.
Well, you're
product.
such a good businessman. You're two steps ahead.
That's right. You got to be 2 steps ahead. Okay. First, you do deals. You do local deals.
I see.
Okay. Whether you're gonna, go scavenge and be a scalper at a store like a Target or something like that, or you could do local deals with people. Kind of use apps like TCG Player or Collector to price it out and then get it at a percentage, because everyone is buying everything at a percentage, locally at least.
Do you think for a certain type of collection, there's a standard that you've seen or would use for a percentage?
I mean, typically when you buy more, you're going to be able to get it at a percentage. If you're buying single cards off of like a local person, they're going to be pretty.
Maybe they'll give you a few bucks off.
Yeah, but the best way to go is by buying a collection.
Yeah.
Let's say there's a binder for $1,000. Try to get it at 70 to 80%. If you can 70, or if you can lower, if you're a really good, like person at making deals.
Sure.
You could sometimes get lucky
I've
and
been there.
get something. So let's say you spend $700.
So step one, person comes and asks, you tell them to go to Facebook, buy a collection.
Buy a collection.
Using the $1,000.
Let's say you get it at 70%.
With these percentages, maybe that value is $1,300 or something like that. What kind of collections is that person aiming for? Because there's different kinds of stuff out there.
Typically it's going to be either vintage, modern, or a mix of vintage and modern.
Singles, slabs?
Collections
can be anything.
Can be diverse. You could get sealed. Let's say for the sake of the conversation, it's a binder of singles.
Okay.
Okay. First page has hits. The rest is just kind of fillers, right? Let's say you get it at 70%. Okay, you spend $700 on that collection. You have $300 left over. The quickest way you're going to be able to resell it is going to be by flipping that collection. Okay, let's say that's going to be the quickest way. I would think, you know, I've had success. How I've done it is individually list everything on a platform like eBay or TCG Player. And the reason I say that is because surprisingly, like cards that are in there that, you know, other people may not want, especially if you're going to go to like a show or something, a lot of people can be very picky. You know, like other people need. And when you're selling on an online platform like eBay, you're not limited to your general area.
Yeah.
Also.
So yeah, you're coming at this as online guy.
I'm coming at it as an online guy.
I'm more of an in-person guy. This is where I think you're how do I say this with my words? This is where I think online wins, because when you are at shows and you're vending, it is pretty quick for someone like me or somebody who attends shows a lot to tell which cards are the ones people are looking for.
Yeah.
You know, and like, are you going to go on Facebook and find a binder of those cards, those hot cards that everybody likes and wants at a wonderful 70% or a wonderful? Probably not.
Yeah.
So that's where it helps with somebody like you having an online presence where, bro, I can go find a collection. It has kind of a bunch of crap in it, or what some people would determine as crap or less desirable. But you know what? I got it at 70%. I'm listing it somewhere in the country or world even. They're going to want this random card that otherwise would sit with me in person, you know, forever.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's some tips and tricks for like selling on eBay, for example. Okay. When you always want to be the most affordable for the condition. So let's say you have a modern card. Let's say it's like a $20 card. Okay. On eBay, any card that's $20 or under, you could do eBay standard envelope.
Which means?
Okay. Which means the shipping of it's going to be like 76 cents. Okay.
Okay.
So how I used to do it and how I've had success, because I've sold thousands of cards on eBay. Okay. Again, when I first started, this is the kind of stuff that I did. And then I started kind of going to streaming and this, that, the other.
Let's start with the basic though.
So for example, you have a $20 card. Okay. Shipping is like $5. No one's going to want to pay, even if you have a $5 card, no one's going to want to pay $5 for shipping for a $5 card.
Sure.
Right. And also, if you have this $20 card that you're selling, there's 3 options. Okay. 3 of the same exact card. Let me ask you which one you would buy.
Okay.
$20 card plus $5 shipping.
Okay.
And then tax.
Okay.
$20 card plus 76 cents shipping plus tax. $20 card free shipping plus tax.
You're asking me which one
I'm asking you as somebody, you have these 3 same cards. All the same price.
Maybe I'm not a mathematician, but that last one definitely sounds like the cheapest option.
Cheapest option.
Most definitely.
The quickest way you're going to be able to sell, like flip these products, okay, is going to be eating a little bit of the cost with the 76 cents free shipping.
So the idea
those are cards just under the $20 limit though.
So maybe you got the card for $10, you're selling it really at $18 because of all the fees.
Yeah.
But you made your margin.
Exactly.
And the fact that it's that free shipping, people are going to come back, they like you, and so the idea is that it picks your speed.
Yeah. And you're able to sell it quicker.
Quick pause.
This way.
I like the idea. I like this question you have of like, if somebody were to ask you with $1,000, I'm thinking about the day one person. Let's quick pause, make a little more of the foundation. Somebody's never used eBay before. Somebody doesn't know. I mean, they're learning about Pokemon.
Yeah.
What is there any difficulty or hurdles of being a newbie and getting, because like you're explaining some of this eBay stuff and it does make sense. Yeah. I've done a little bit of it and it's a little bit like challenging to like know about all this and how to get it on
Okay.
eBay and what to
You
put on
can-
eBay and
You can learn anything through YouTube.
fair.
YouTube has videos on everything. First of all, I learned plus you're always going to have like hiccups. There's always going to be something you don't know. But you can just literally quickly learn how to do it. See how other people are posting, take clear pictures.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard. It's a pretty user-friendly platform.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard to do. But what I'm getting at is, like, if you're trying to if you have an extra $1,000 and you're trying to just create a recurring business, online sales is a really, really like important tool to utilize.
Also, it's also a great place to start because it's probably where you'll finish. Like on the most scaled out version of your future. Let's say you want to start a business and you have dreams of making it a lot of money with this business. Something is going to have to be online.
Sure, yeah.
So might as well learn the basics of an eBay or streaming, which we'll get into in a second. So that by the time you are Mr. Success, I have a lot of stuff coming in, you know how to rock it because you were doing it card to card. You know who started like this? Trax.
CharizardBaba.
Well, CharizardBaba, of course.
Trax NYC.
Trax NYC, the
Sure,
watch
yeah.
guy. Yeah, his whole start was he said he would go to Canal Street, which was the old school diamond district. In 2004, like before eBay was like
This is jewelry, by the way.
This is jewelry.
Not Pokemon.
No, I know, but it's
very similar.
It is very similar.
Sparkly things.
Sparkling
but hard
things
sparkly things
that are
versus
rare.
paper sparkly
That are
things.
rare. And that he would take a picture of a watch in the window,
Yeah.
put it on sale for eBay, he didn't own it. He just took a picture of it.
That's funny.
When someone would buy it, he'd walk in the store and be like, oh, let me grab that, and then he shipped it
What
off
if
to the
they
person.
sold it?
To somebody else?
Yeah, what if
Oh, I imagine he'd have to say, sorry, it's out of stock, you missed it, or whatever.
Man.
But that's how he started his hustle. So
That's crazy.
So yeah, the eBay stuff is pretty powerful. Do you have a preference as a seller from eBay to TCG?
So I've never sold on TCG Player.
Well, great.
I've
I
never
think I
sold
know
on
your
TCG
preference
Player. But I mean it's quite similar to my understanding. There's like, okay, the presence or how you like display the product is very important. On TCG Player, a lot of the listings don't have pictures. Some of the listings have pictures. Anytime I've purchased off TCG Player, I always go to the person that has the photos.
Really?
Always.
Interesting. Okay.
Because you don't know what you're buying.
Good point.
You're
trusting because they have like rules and regulations.
Exactly, but
that you're hoping the seller is
following. Yeah.
In my time purchasing with it, it's been accurate. For the
No,
most
I
part.
get it, but
it's tough. It's tough.
Again, there's like these little things where if you're trying to be a successful business, obviously professionalism is very important. So again, going to eBay, just things that I noticed as a consumer and then as a seller is like some people would take the picture holding the card with their hand.
Yeah.
And then you have their ugly fat hand in it and they're like nails
and
they're holding the picture.
I will never buy something from a guy with an ugly fat hand.
With an ugly fat hand.
That's not somebody I do business with.
I'm just saying, like, they take a picture with their hand or somebody laying it down with an awkward angle, or you stand it up vertically, showing all the edges and corners of the card with some, like, literally just a light over it, or your flash or something.
The worst I've seen is they'll show, let's say, the back of the card, and they'll put the back of the card against a white backdrop.
Yeah, that's
so you can't see
the whitening.
Oh, I've gotten so yeah. Word to the wise: if you're buying something and they have it on the white backdrop, you have to like look extra hard.
Yeah,
because what they're doing is maybe not purposefully or sometimes purposefully,
usually purposefully,
trying to make sure you don't realize that there's a whole line of white around it.
Exactly.
You need to do it against a black. Backdrop. I feel like this is just a laziness thing, but at scale, it is a lot of work. If I'm selling on eBay, the amount of pictures and making sure those pictures look professional and whatever, and you're doing that for 1,000 cards, that is initially what turned me off to doing anything.
It
on
takes
eBay.
time, but nothing good ever comes easy.
Fair.
And you're only going to be as successful in something as the amount of work that you put into it.
Fair.
So if you're being, deterred from a little extra work, maybe don't do it. Maybe don't get into the Pokemon business because you're gonna put time into it. You're gonna take pictures. You're gonna have to do listings.
I'm going to push back.
Okay.
My pushback is you have to. What if my pushback was you don't have to work hard? Okay, get over it. No, is that you have to work hard,
how hard you have
but
to work.
you have to pick the thing you want to work hard at.
Sure.
Something about the idea of eBay taking a lot of pictures, it just turns me off. We'll talk about my stuff in a second, but I like the in-person side of it. I'm okay to
Sure.
get in the car and go hustle and do it all in person. And there might be people who are obviously like, I hate doing that. So I would say, just because you don't like taking pictures doesn't mean like don't ever do a Pokemon business. I would say eBay might not be your thing. Like,
Sure.
figure out the stuff that is cool for you to grind and work hard and all that jazz.
But you know what was like really cool when I first started? Like doing that work. Okay. How I would do it was I had like a sheet, this black sheet. Okay. It was actually a pillowcase. I put it over my computer and then laid it on my desk, and I had a little card stand, and I would take pictures of each card front and back. Then I would do the listings, and then I would just get notifications on my phone. Sold.
Which is cool.
Sold. And I would see just the things that I was listing, even the lower stuff, like literally some reverse hollows that people need for their master set.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if the card is 50 cents and then you do free shipping, you're negative 26 cents. Obviously, don't do that.
Yeah.
But if it makes sense, you know, do the free shipping, whatever. But just seeing the cards selling every single day and then doing like the extra work of just kind of like putting it in an envelope and dropping it off at the post
It's
office.
satisfying.
It was really satisfying.
If somebody's listening to that and it's lighting their brain up,
It was really cool.
I would do that.
That's
For me,
that's how I started. That's how I started.
Now I want to switch gears to your streaming life.
Sure.
But before we do a full switch, do you think there's something to be said about this new person with $1,000 starting on an eBay situation and growing into a stream situation? Or I imagine somebody watching might be like, well, bro, I just want to start with the stream situation. What are your thoughts about that relationship?
I mean, so getting into streaming, it depends what you're going to stream. Because, okay, like everyone wants to rip and ship. But with the current Pokemon market and the availability for sealed, how can you really start, you know, ripping and shipping? It's kind of difficult. When I started, I have distribution, but getting product at below MSRP was accessible. Right now, you're either going to get it double the price, or if you're really out there, you know, scalping.
What kind of stream would you recommend? Sorry, first question. So you're saying there is a type of person in a type of situation you like the.
There's a fly. There's a fly in here.
Maybe he likes Pokemon. Is there a fly Pokemon? Flygon. It's a little Flygon.
Okay.
Do you think there is a person out there that should start with streaming, or like you really do? If you're going online, like really give eBay that initial.
I mean, let me tell you how I started streaming, because I was on TikTok. I was doing a mystery pack. Okay, I knew nothing about Pokemon. I did this mystery slab, and this guy pulled out this CGC 7.5 Charizard V from Crown Zenith. Okay. CGC 7.5.
It's like a $2 card, $2 slab.
I spent $85 on it. He was
my God.
But his reaction, he was like, oh, Charizard! And the whole chat was like blowing up, and everyone's freaking out, and I'm sitting in bed at 2 a.m. trying not to wake up my wife and baby, and I'm like, fuck it, just pull the fucking Charizard. I was freaking out.
But it was not worth it.
And then I messaged my friend. I'm like, dude, you'll never fucking guess what I just pulled last night. I pulled a Charizard. He's like, okay, what card?
Which one?
What is it? Send me a picture. He's like, dude, that's a $12 at the time. It was like $12.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, I just got cooked. Then I thought to myself, man, if people are doing this, first of all, if somebody's doing it, you can too. That's the thing. Anything somebody is doing means that you are able to do it too. You just got to kind of figure out how to do it. So there's a huge like market for mystery products. And there's a huge like profit margin on it as well.
Yes.
You know, that's what we do on our stream.
Yeah.
So, but you're going to have to kind of amass a collection for it to be even possible,
Sure.
you know?
It does seem like it seems like the barrier to entry for the stream starter,
Yeah.
person starting in stream, or person starting in eBay is you can literally get a card and start on eBay. Hey, I have a
Yeah.
card, and just go card by card and grow.
You can.
On stream,
You're
whether
gonna
you're
need
doing
more capital.
whether you're doing mystery or auction, you gotta have like $30,000 of like you gotta have three
maybe
streams
not that.
worth.
I mean, you could go stream by stream. I started. I mean, again, like,
It makes it tough. The
it
barrier to
makes it
entry,
tough.
there is a barrier, whatever that
Sure.
number is.
but you also need X amount of followers. You know, you need to register an LLC and this, that, the other.
yeah,
So, I mean, you know, again, I'm going from my own personal experience. The way that I started with eBay. And then I created an LLC after my eBay was performing quite well. You know, it was like a side income. I'm like, okay. I'm like, wow, this month I did $3,000 on eBay. That's like a great side income.
pre or post fee.
No, yeah, post.
Post fee, wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
It
So you
was-
really did probably 3.8,
Sure, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good.
But again, the way I started, I had a personal collection from just kind of opening stuff off of like the Target shelves. I was just opening a lot of sealed product. I mean, I had a problem.
I
had a
imagine you would
problem for
say
a
to somebody with $1,000,
Don't do
opening
that.
a bunch of product is
Don't do that.
not.
You're never gonna make your money back opening product. But again, if you have $1,000, make a deal, get it at a percentage, and then try to flip those cards.
So you would say a little bit of summary up to this point. $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Step one, go find a collection.
Mhm.
Probably could be a mix of different products, mostly singles, which is true.
Sure.
You try to get it at 70, 75%.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a collection worth 1,300, 1,400, whatever the number
Yeah.
is. You would then say, start listing those on eBay. That would be maybe your step one.
Yeah.
See how that goes. Keep doing it. Take a little money back. Go buy some more, whatever.
Yeah. Unless you have unless there's a big card in there, right? And you can
You got a
sell
$500
it.
card.
Sure, you can sell it in person and get $500 cash.
Sure.
But whatever you're making, don't spend that. Like, don't pocket the difference. Always keep it in your
You have to
reinvest.
reinvest.
You have to reinvest it because you got to get to a certain point to where you're profitable, and then you can start kind of paying yourself. But always recycle that and reinvest it back into your business.
Little detail I want to add. Let's say somebody listens to you. They go the eBay route
Mhm.
with the hope that, let me graduate eventually to the stream. Is there a moment that person could be looking out for to be like, ooh, now is the time?
I mean, it's just like, when's the right time to have a kid? There's never a right time for
When
anything.
when you want to.
It's
you wanna
kind of
jump
when
on.
you feel like you're ready to take that next step.
Okay.
If you think your $5,000, inventory you can start streaming with, and your account is ready to go with streaming, do it. Try it. I would personally advise against auctions because you're not gonna be satisfied.
I was
with
going to
auctions.
ask.
Yeah.
So now, please fill in newbie person here.
Okay.
With big downfalls.
Okay.
That what comes to mind for me would be the auction situation and fees.
Yeah.
Come to mind.
I mean, anytime you're selling online, there's going to be fees, so you have to take that into consideration. So what are some platforms that you can sell on through live streaming? Okay.
Well, you could maybe go on TikTok and find the CharizardBaba.
You can.
We're on TikTok. That's how
Yes,
we.
we are
that's
on
how- Is there a
TikTok.
reason you started this stream before I was ever around?
Mhm.
So your decision to pick TikTok over whatnot predated me.
Yeah.
What was some of the reasonings for it?
So, first of all, I didn't know about Whatnot when I started. I started on TikTok because I saw other people streaming on TikTok. And again, my whole thing is, again, if somebody else is doing it, why can't I? That's the whole thing that I started with card restoration. You know, I was very confused. I'm like, how is this possible? I'm like, well, these guys are doing it. It has to be possible. You know, there's a card cleaning product. There's only 2 major card cleaning products. I was like, if these guys are doing it, I can do it.
Yeah.
So if we do it, so can you. So the reason I've tried Whatnot, and the reason I like TikTok over Whatnot, okay? First of all, there's millions of people using TikTok, okay? There's also millions of people who don't know about Pokemon that maybe used to do Pokemon that'll hop into your stream and be like, hey, I used to do this, and kind of get reintroduced into it.
Yeah.
That happened to me. You know, it happens to a lot of my viewers who, when I'm opening vintage cards, they're like, wow, this is so nostalgic.
You're saying
and then
that
they'll just buy.
You're saying that I actually did not realize this. A lot of your buyers, or maybe just consistent viewers, were people who like weren't into Pokemon.
Yeah.
They were just on TikTok, hanging out.
Yeah.
Happened to swipe.
Yep.
They're like, what is going on? And then they show the cards, and that's what got people back in. That's like a way.
It's
I
happened
did not
a
realize
lot.
that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's happened a lot. So again, TikTok is a huge platform, and their algorithm is really, really nice. Especially when you show some consistency, they're quite rewarding. Obviously, if your stream is super boring, like, it's going to reflect on your viewers. But TikTok, millions of users. Whatnot has categories, okay? If you look on the Pokemon category, I'll be generous, and I'll say 10,000 viewers, okay?
Of the entire category.
Of the entire category of Pokemon.
At any one time.
Okay, because they have Pokemon, they have other categories.
Yeah, T-shirts, whatever.
Sure. So in the Pokemon category, again, I'm being generous when I'm saying this, you have about 10,000 viewers, okay? Let's say there's about 100 live streams, okay? Maybe the top 20 has 1,000 to a couple hundred views. And then everyone else is very, very low viewers. Kind of just like how Twitch does it. Twitch will have from most viewers to least viewers. That's exactly how Whatnot's, thing is.
I'll tee you up a little bit because we both know this answer. When you are one of the people who are streaming on Whatnot and you're in that lower category,
Yeah.
how does that extra fuck you?
I mean,
the auctions.
Yeah, the auctions.
So how does being a new streamer with not a lot of followers and running auctions, how can that directly like hurt you? Not neutral. Like,
I mean,
hurt.
again, like people on Whatnot, and TikTok has introduced auctions, and I still don't want to do it just because of my experience with Whatnot. I mean, I had 100, 150 viewers on Whatnot.
Yeah.
And I would run auctions, and everything would undersell.
But how it's the underselling.
It
that's
undersells.
That's what I was teeing at.
It undersells. Let's say you have a $5 card, you're going to start it at $1. If you have 2 viewers, someone's buying that at $1.
Or maybe 2 or whatever.
Yeah, no one is bidding against each other.
So when you have a $50 card, you are legitimately putting yourself in a position that it could sell at 20 or 15
But
or whatever.
even if you have 1,000 viewers, and it's a $100 card, and it sells for $60, you're still getting screwed.
Yes.
And
you do that at scale, your entire night's inventory.
Yeah, you're in the negative, and it's also very difficult to track.
Minus fees.
Minus fees. Yeah, minus fees.
So you're already selling it at 85% of market if you do sell it at market.
Yep.
And if you sell it at under market, you're selling it at 60% of market.
Exactly.
You did not buy it at 60%, that's for sure.
No,
so
you bought it at 70, 80%.
You're legitimately
potentially
losing.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
is there any path? People want to shit on Whatnot, and honestly, I'm not enough into that scene to like know. I just see a lot of YouTube videos where people say Whatnot are scammers and they're scammers and they're the worst.
Yeah.
Is there a path for somebody to start on Whatnot, not some huge following, a humble inventory, and make their way through to have us, or just keep going and take your L's?
Sure, of course. There's a path for somebody to start it on live streaming on YouTube. There's a path for somebody like it's possible.
Yeah. Seems real tough. And everything seems tough. I understand
it is tough. I mean, again, when for example, when I started live streaming, I mean, I'm sure people can relate to this. If anybody wants to like types on YouTube how to be a successful live streamer. You know, you'll have videos. It's like, well, you gotta find a niche. You gotta stick out. You can't be like everybody else. You know, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I can sit here and give you a blueprint on how to do it, but you know, it doesn't mean you're going to be successful. You know, it's going to reflect on, again, your business is only going to be as successful as the amount of work that you put into.
What, if somebody bald reveal, by the way,
so bald.
Yeah,
bald.
Yeah, oh my God! Everyone just clicks off the screen. You see the YouTube retention just dip the moment I.
You know King Neptune and SpongeBob?
No.
You don't know that episode?
King Neptune.
The SpongeBob.
This sucks 'cause I like SpongeBob.
Where he's like, it's thinning.
Oh, and he's the older guy. Yeah,
and he takes off his crown or his hat, and all the fish are like, bald.
Yeah. What was I saying?
That happened to me, by the way.
I was gonna say, just really quick. You're a new guy. You want to stream. I want to stream. I'm pretending to be new guy. I want to stream.
Okay, you want to stream.
TikTok or whatnot.
TikTok.
That's me. And give me the 3 points as to why.
Okay. Algorithm. It's more forgiving.
Yeah.
More viewers.
Yeah. I have a good third point.
Okay, what's your third point?
The fees are like...
Oh, the fees,
It's way less.
It is less.
Yeah, I think the thing that I've noticed from my humble perch, TikTok, I really enjoy... You've explained that pretty well. There's a lot of people. It could literally bring in new people. Maybe the initial leads are less qualified. It's not necessarily people who are like jumping on to buy.
Yeah.
Whatnot, it's sort of the flip conversation. Way less people, which is never going to be a good thing. But the good thing about it is that the people who are jumping on, they know what whatnot is. They know what Pokemon is.
Sure.
They're more qualified buyers. As in when
yeah,
they
but
do
anybody can stream on whatnot. That's a thing.
And not everybody can stream on.
I mean, you have to have like, I think they dropped their follower count to like 500.
Oh,
so there is
limits.
There is a limit. Like you're gonna have to build a followers on TikTok, but it's really not that hard. You just gotta kind of post some stuff.
I want to sit here and have some sort of like debate. Not that I'm going to be the one debating it, but some sort of conversation about how like the benefits of TikTok versus the benefits of whatnot.
I don't see any benefits.
That's
of
what
whatnot.
I'm saying. Like it really does
I don't
feel
see any benefits.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to shit on whatnot, but like
I mean, I'm not trying to shit on whatnot either.
But it really seems like there's not. If you're listening and you are thinking about streaming,
sorry, whatnot.
Sorry.
I mean, I've tried both platforms. I actually went to whatnot twice.
Yeah.
You know,
I was a part of the second one, and it just
that's right. It's just
ate shit a little bit.
It flops.
Yeah.
And
so,
it
also feels like I guess I'm biased to what we've been doing, but like if the rip and ship is not an option because you don't have the distribution, and the auction situation is a little scary, you know, I'll tell. I was gonna say like a mystery product on TikTok would be an interesting choice, but then I had my issues with it, which was you had coached before we combined.
Yeah,
you had been coaching me as to how to build my stream. I had my own stream,
but you were successful.
I was successful. The numbers pretty quickly were awesome.
Yeah,
I kept running into a lot of issues though on the back end. A lot of it had to do with shipping. So this is again, let's add on check mark of other negatives towards online.
Towards
something
online.
I ran. This would be an eBay problem. This could be anywhere.
Sure.
On TikTok, I would ship my shit out the next day. The next day you bought it, it's in a package, it's at USPS. I was good. I was getting violations after violations of slow shippings. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I would look into it. USPS would be slow. There'd be a snowstorm or whatever. and it wouldn't get delivered correctly. It would ding me. I had a person, they said, hey, it said it got delivered, but I didn't see it in the mail, so I want a refund. I couldn't fight it. They just got a refund.
Yeah.
Like anybody can just be like, actually, I want a refund. And there's no course correction. So
the problem with selling platforms, and this goes with Shopify, eBay, TikTok. I'm not sure about whatnot, but I'm sure they're very buyer friendly.
I think, like, again, if we're having an open conversation about you're a beginner starting a business and you want to get into Pokemon, you should be very aware that the online route has so many benefits.
I just saw Shiny Vert even post he just lost $1,000 off of Shopify because there was a chargeback thing, and I mean,
you have to
it
be.
happens.
I would become aware and knowledgeable about it.
Yeah.
But you got to know that
do.
there is a lot of bullshit that can happen with
There's
online
risks.
stuff.
I mean,
and there's risks with
you
anything.
know, there's risks with everything. If you're unfamiliar with, you know, Pokemon and you buy a fake card, then you just bought a $300 fake card, and then there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly.
But,
so I think this has been a good start of online intro.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because we are partners, but we come at it from such a different place.
Yeah.
I was Mr. In-person guy. Something about that hustle I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I was slow to get online.
Yeah.
I got online. It went okay. I hit enough violations that I was like, hey, do you want to just combine and I'll use your online platform and I'll go hustle in the back because I like the in-person
because
stuff.
you like dealing with people and I don't like dealing with people.
So for anybody who doesn't know, we have the stream. We keep talking about it. But the business partnership of the stream is I'm the hunter. I'm on the Facebooks and I vend at the show and I'm getting the deals. I'm doing what I can. I get the thousands of cards or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we did.
It's a lot of cards.
I did a pickup yesterday. I'll tell you guys some numbers. Fun pickup.
Yeah.
We got about like 8.2K worth of singles, modern and vintage. They will all be in our streams coming up.
That's right.
And I got it for about 6.2.
Yeah.
Or so, something like that.
There you go.
But that process was
it's a 75%. You know,
exactly
purchase.
It's like 76 or whatever comes out to. But
whatever.
I needed to correct you.
You had to.
So and then so I get the cards and then I pretty much hand him the cards. He obviously does restoration on the vintage box we have when needed. And then he is the streamer of it. He is the one on camera doing the stream, and he is the shipper of the cards.
Actually, my hands are on camera.
Yeah, you're not going to see his face on camera. Can you show the people your wonderful hands?
I have nice hands.
You got a cool tattoo on one of your hands, too, which adds a little edge to edge to the... Who is on your hand, by the way?
It's Medusa. I'm not really happy about
man.
Medusa's
the star of our...
I'm not happy about it.
That sounds like a tattoo you got when you were 22. And
this is a tattoo before I came to God.
Yes.
It's a part of my testimony.
That's what we call a pre-God tattoo.
Yeah, it is.
So... I will. Well, first of all, I want to flip the script, but I gotta pee so bad.
Go pee.
If there's something important about starting a Pokemon business, is that when you need to piss, you got to stop and piss.
You
so
do.
that's rule number one. Let me go
ahead.
piss. I'll be back. All right, so we're back from piss, and piss was good, but now we're back. Okay. So I wanted to switch gears.
Yeah.
It seems like anything, there are positives and negatives to the online experience.
And it's not easy. It's probably
a pain in the ass.
More difficult to attain than in-person selling.
But has bigger rewards.
I think it has much bigger rewards.
Because the scalability is much bigger.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a whole different argument for the in-person stuff.
Sure.
Even though I agree that the scalability is obviously not as good as online. I think it is more attainable. How do I say? Is it more attainable for you know what? It might be more attainable for certain people, right? Because attainability, if you have internet, you can do eBay.
Sure.
It actually is pretty attainable.
It is.
And to be honest, to do in-person stuff, you actually probably have to live in a place where there are shows.
Yeah.
So maybe online is actually more attainable, but I think there's going to be people like me who are watching this and they're like, taking pictures, I don't want to do that. And great, that's like me. I would say if you were to ask me, or somebody were to ask me $1,000, what do you do with it? I would start off the same. I would build a collection. I would actually double. This is what I did. I would double down on that part, kind of as hard as you can go. So I wouldn't for you the online like go get your collection for $1,000 and then post $1,400 worth of stuff on eBay and you can kind of keep rocking. What I did was I kept buying, and I would sell a few things here and there. I would sell the smaller stuff. I would go to the shows and trade a little bit. It took a while for me actually to get to the shows, to be honest. That wasn't an instant thing for me at all. I was a Facebook warrior. I would do Facebook, and I'm going to give you the 3 names of the websites that I would use. And the reason I'm giving them to you is because I think they're crap now.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not even saying I would recommend these. Maybe give it a go.
Maybe avoid it.
I used one called, these are auction sites, HiBid, Auction Ninja, and ProxyBid.
Okay.
These are random, very unsanctioned websites where I would participate in online
Very
Pokemon
sketchy.
auctions.
Very
I
sketchy.
definitely got ripped off on a few of them.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, what happened to me was I did one early on that was amazing.
Yeah, you did.
The stuff that we're going to reveal, the grades, some of the vintage stuff, I mentioned a Shadowless Chansey I have out grading right now. You remember those cards.
I
They were
do.
clean as, I
They
think,
were.
and I sold you a few of them.
Yeah.
I got them at some awesome price. I mean, some amazing price, and it got me hooked.
Yeah.
And ever since then, most of the deals were just not worth the
Horrible.
risk, not worth the money.
Very damaged cards.
They
'cause,
would come
yeah.
in more screwed up. So
Yeah.
I give you those websites to say, check them out. And then honestly, when I recently go on just to BS and see what's on there, you know, a $20 card is at $20 for the auction.
Yeah.
And of course, that doesn't include the 20% buyer's premium and shipping.
Yeah.
So I would avoid, but that is how I started. I was a fiend on those sites. Maybe there's some other ones out there that I don't know about. I would call up estate sales. I would get on the phone with them and be like, "Hey, you have any Pokemon? Oh, keep it to the side for me. I'll come in." That stuff never worked. I never even bought anything from those. So the estate sales, that didn't end up being a huge thing for me. It also does seem like estate sales that have legitimate Pokemon product at them, the whole world is going to know about.
Sure. Yeah.
So that was technically a start for me. But really the bulk of it was Facebook deals.
It's hard to find like hidden gems from like estate sales or like garage sales.
And
it's just
it's not worth the
rarely ever works
it's
out.
not worth the investment of your time to like
Yeah.
that's a lot of time to like maybe
is.
get something. So
Yeah.
have fun, go to the garage sale, have some fun, but it's not a part of the business.
I mean, usually people now know there's something with Pokemon.
For sure.
Even the
Those people
yeah.
know to like go to the local card shop and ask.
Yeah.
So I was a fiend and still am a fiend on the Facebook. I would say if you're into this, again, step one for me, get obsessed. Just get obsessed with Pokemon. I couldn't not be on Facebook. I was addicted, whatever you want to call it. I loved getting on Facebook and finding the deal. So start with that. Because if you don't have that and you're like, oh, I got to get on Facebook, you're going to get beat by somebody like me.
Yeah.
That would be number one.
It's hard.
For me, it's not hard.
No. I know, but like it's all about timing.
I have some
and
thoughts on
like
it.
your like your willingness to pursue something.
Yeah.
Like an online deal or
Yeah.
like a in-person deal.
I am still and definitely was that guy who was saying, I will be at your doorstep in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I have cash. I was as and you kind of have to be.
Yeah, you have
don't
to
be
be
weird. Don't, have some common
Yeah,
sense.
don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
Don't be weird. I'll be at your doorstep in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I already know your address. You didn't even tell me. You're 123 Main Street. They're like, I didn't tell you that. But you have to be persistent. You can read. This is a little bit more on like how to do negotiation, but you got to read like, okay, is this person need a little zhuzh and that's going to be benefit, or are they really saying like, I'll get back to you? You got to read a little bit. A little zhuzh.
Is that a Jewish word?
Zhuzh is not.
A
Zhuzh is
It was very
It's
Jewy
Jewish?
of you.
Yiddish. I've said zhuzh.
Wait, there was like the first episode you called me like a Sherpa.
A Sherpa.
That's what you said. You called me a Sherpa.
Not a Sherpa. I called you a.
You called me a Sherpa.
a shiksa.
No,
No, you're not a.
a shiksa. L'chaim
You are.
l'shikna.
You are a shiksa. A shiksa is a
You
non-Jew.
called me a Sherpa. A shiksa
It
is
is
a non-Jewish
specifically
word.
non-Jewish. Are you Jewish? Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. I'm just
Also,
saying
I love how somehow, some way, when I start talking about deals, it gets brought. So first, and all of a sudden, my voice. So first of all, you gotta find them when they're weak, and you gotta pursue the deal.
Okay, cue the Jew music.
Yeah. This is the perfect time. The lights all turn blue and flicker. But yes, I use my Jewish ancestry to find deals
See,
on Facebook.
there's something inside of you that just
Facebook's colors aren't blue and white for a reason, okay?
okay.
So
Got it.
yeah. So again, this goes a little bit more
So
like
step number 1, gotta be Jewish.
you gotta be.
Step
Otherwise, I'm
number
gonna
2,
crush you.
Otherwise, I'm gonna crush you.
So you find the deals. So after all this said, I stockpiled a bit.
Yeah.
I would stockpile. Yeah, again, like I said, I would sell a few things, but I stockpile for like a while.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a job where I was able to save a little bit and put into it. So if you're not in that position, you're not in that position. But
I mean, you shouldn't like full send into it right away.
see,
Start. I'm saying, but you have a job on the side, is what I'm saying.
Fair,
If
fair.
you
Yeah,
have,
I
you,
had
you
some-
shouldn't like full send into something you have no idea about.
If
so
you have zero
put
income,
a little bit of money on the side, once you kind of collect enough, then start investing into it and start doing deals and flips until you can generate enough to pursue other things in the business.
Sure, yeah, I guess the preface here is I still have a job where I was making some, making enough to survive and some leftover that I could put into the Pokemon if I wanted to. If you don't have any income at all, then sure, my advice is going to be maybe a little bit different or a little bit more skewed to that. But I will say, I'm not trying to take your word at face value, but I would full send.
No.
You agree? Yeah. Okay. So
I agree.
Don't risk. Okay.
I'm saying like don't risk your livelihood.
Yes.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
If you have a family,
don't quit your bank job to like.
Yes. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. I didn't quit.
I saw this podcast.
No, that I agree.
They told me exactly how to do it.
And then we'll get sued. But this Jewish guy told me to quit my job, and
they have a podcast. They're legit.
So, but yes, outside of some basic necessities of not ruining your life, I would full send. And a part of that full send for me was not. I mean, like I was just eating up every YouTube video. Why am I getting this card compared to this other card? I learned the hard way. I got some bricks, as they're known, which is things that don't move very good and nobody really wants them. Yeah. They technically have a value.
That's where eBay comes in.
That does help with bricks. And so I stockpiled a bit. I had a nice inventory. And I then started going to the shows, not to vend, just to go. I would definitely sell a few things. Maybe I would trade a few things. Definitely got cooked, but I took it as like a learning experience, whatever. Through Facebook, I met guys like you who, and I think this is an interesting option for people. If you do your homework and you find streamers in your local area that you can meet with, that's an interesting business model. We'll give numbers. Let's say I bought most everything at 70-75% on average. I found you who took certain parts of that inventory who bought it 90. And you were relatively consistent in how often you needed it.
Yeah.
And so technically, if somebody wanted to take that a step further and say, okay, I'm going to try to find 6 or 7 streamers in my area. At this point, you're probably in a metropolitan area. And they all buy different things at 80 to 90, let's call it 90%. That's an interesting business model.
Sure.
You have enough people that you become sort of a wholesaler, for these certain people. I never went down that deep of a rabbit hole. It was really mostly you I would sell to.
I was the only streamer that you ever met.
There was one other guy who took some modern stuff, but he was inconsistent.
Was there?
Was one other guy?
We
did 2 deals. But so would I say that's another guy? Would I say that's another guy? No, I would say that's not a full other guy. I mean, when I say another guy, we did 5 or 6 deals and you'd spend a lot of money. Yeah, which is lovely.
We did more than 5 or 6 deals.
Really? We did a lot.
We did a lot of deals.
So maybe if you want to, I'm trying to go through the path of like, I'm trying to talk to the person who's like, I don't want to deal online, hypothetically.
Yeah.
You could find those streamers in your area. How do you find those streamers in your area? You got to work a little bit. I mean, that is, a lot of people don't give away that information, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I stupidly asked some vendors like, hey, do you know any streamers? And they nicely said, if I did, I'm not telling you.
That's funny.
Oh yeah. Like I remember like when I was an actor in LA, it was a very similar thing with agents. That like, if you know that buddy had an agent, it's kind of weird to go up to them and say, hey, can you connect me with that agent? Because maybe that person's connected, but barely. It's kind of, they don't have
like
the clout.
If you have a distributor.
It's a very similar thing.
Yeah.
That there were certain streamers. By the way, with me and you, I would tell most everybody. If they said, maybe not a total stranger, but like, if I had a homie who had vintage stuff and I was like, hey, I know a guy who, I connected you to a buddy Ramin, I connected you to my other buddies, Perry and Dakota. But people are not necessarily going to be like that. So how would I find streamers? You go on Whatnot and you say, hey, Mr. Streamer. You go on TikTok. Hey, Mr. Streamer. What part of town are you in? And you hustle. You go to the shows.
What part of town are you in is kind of creepy.
Yeah, what's your
We did
address?
say don't be creepy.
That's a good point.
Okay.
You know what? Maybe you gotta maybe you gotta straddle the line
Yeah.
of creepiness. Maybe you do.
Because people ask me and I'm like, I'm in Texas,
Yeah,
which is
fair.
very broad. And then they're like, what part of Texas? I'm like,
Very.
I'm in Central Texas. Like, I'm not going to tell you my
You
town.
can go to local card shows, and maybe you don't ask that vendor, hey, do you know any streamers? Maybe you just say, do you stream? Maybe
Yeah.
that's a nice start. I mean, you got to hustle. You got to be creative. You got to hustle and maybe find those types of streamers.
Networking is something that is possible when you're going to shows.
Yes.
Networking is not really something that you can do online.
Much tougher.
Which is actually funny because it's funny you bring that up. Well, I brought it up.
Yeah.
I think. But
it's funny how it's funny that I'm bringing this up right now.
Yeah.
I'm so funny.
Yeah. But that was like a thing that we talked about once in private where like I don't know anybody in the local area because I'm always home. I'm not like talking to other people in the Pokemon community.
And you know what? There's different ways to skin the cat, so to speak. What a terrible phrase that I keep using.
That was a crazy phrase.
But that's a phrase. There's multiple ways to skin a cat. That's like a... Am I crazy that that's
a
phrase that people use? Yeah, thank you.
You got it.
I got a thumbs
up.
Let me keep trudging forward with this terrible metaphor. That if you're a person who wants to do that, and by the way, sometimes I want to be that person. I don't want to talk to everybody. I get it. You've created a business where you can do that. That's freaking awesome. I think that's, if you don't want to do it and you can do that, that's awesome. But I have chosen the route of going to the shows and being cool with everybody, and not everybody, but
I mean, when I go to shows with you, you know, like almost every vendor.
To be fair, like I'm in Austin, you know, there's only like maybe 20 to 30 consistent
but
people.
But still, when I go to a show, I don't know anybody.
Sure.
So
and that's why
I'm making
make
blind deals with people that I've never worked with in the past.
To continue forward with this person
networking
who wants to be in person, I would say the next step, okay, you have a little bit of an inventory, you have a little bit of knowledge over what's going on and what to do with it. Maybe you've learned about grading, maybe you've learned about sealed. You've been going to the shows, meeting them as a consumer type person, doing some trades. You're taking it at a percentage against yourself. Okay, now maybe you want to start vending yourself. Yeah. Truly, there ain't no difference. The guy you've been doing deals with is just a guy who rented the table that you can rent for $100.
Exactly, it is.
So now maybe you take the step, a step further into vending. I don't need to go into...
Quick pause, because I just had a thought.
Okay.
If you have $1,000, what's a nice way to go buy inventory? Get a vending table, put a buying sign on it.
That's great.
Everyone at a show, they come to the show with the expectation of selling their stuff at 70%.
Maybe you don't do the Facebook deal and you wait to just spend it at a show.
Use your $100 out of your $1,000. Go put it down at a table. Some local shows are like $50-$60 for a table.
Sure.
And buy. And then at the show, you're able to sell it at 100%.
Yeah. This is why somebody would take that next step. You're so smart. This is why somebody would take the next step into vending, is because of what you just said. You can buy at whatever percentage that you and that customer feel cool with, and you are able to sell at 100, usually a little bit less. You give some deals, you help some people out.
Sure.
But you're able to do that. That's why I say start with the stockpile, and then when you vend, you have two things to consider. You have your inventory that is constantly growing. It's doing this, but it's slowly getting bigger, and you have cash inflow. In terms of how much cash inflow, I would actually say take as much as you need and leave the rest in the cards, in the inventory. Yeah. Now, if you need that money to survive, that's going to be quite the expectation. That is a lot, because it's the best deals are not the ones that you can time. As in, maybe today the best deal is crap. I need to spend today because I just hit a great deal. Maybe the next day is okay. I have a great payout situation. Yeah. If you're forcing things like, hey, I need 3,000 or whatever. Yeah. That can be a little tricky, because now it's like, okay, now I have to undersell things in order to get that money. That's why having the regular job on the side is important.
Yeah. I only switched, like I only quit my job when I was losing money. Not streaming.
Sure. So for the people vending, I would say that the streaming option is a faster and more efficient way to saying I can quit my job and do this because of the overturn. Yeah. It is not crazy at all for someone like you at some point to quit their regular job to do that. For vending, I'm not saying there aren't full-time people,
Yeah, which
They
there
are very advanced in their vending, not so much in their knowledge, but they've just been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
You know, they also might have like a Bulbasaur, a
Yeah.
Jar Chomp. By the way, Jar Chomp, very successful guy. He like recently did it. Like only in the last few months did a guy like that even quit his job to do this full time.
He's okay. So a person like Jar Chomp or Bulbasaur, they also are very active on social media and they're big on YouTube.
For sure.
So take a guy like Dragon Nate,
Okay,
who
local
is always at shows.
Yeah, killer.
I
killer
don't know
vendor.
if he's full time,
I don't know.
and I don't think he's super big on social media. I know he posts.
He's mostly yeah.
but I think he's like mainly active at vending shows.
And a guy. So this is a
And-
guy.
and-
This is a cool vendor, Dragonate in Austin area.
Yeah.
He's a guy that has stepped into the higher end part
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
market,
yeah.
where you go to a guy like that has a table with $20,000
Sure,
items and
yeah.
crazy items.
I don't know if he has like a full time job also, but
I'm not sure. I'm
yeah.
not sure. We'll have him on the pod.
Sure.
That's a sort of a different. That's a different level of vending. So you
Yeah.
start with vending, and you are doing the deals for the smaller cards, and you are keeping a little bit of cash. But I would take that cash and put it right back into the cards. To be
yeah.
honest. Eventually, maybe a time for a different podcast, you are getting to the point where you're vending at a level of a Dragonate. There's some
Yeah.
other cool local people like Tang TCG is a cool
yeah.
guy that I've done some deals with. Where you're dealing with cards that are like 30,000. You make
Yeah.
one sale that day, you made 30,000.
Yeah, there's levels.
There is levels.
There's levels to vending. There's levels to streaming.
Of course.
Of course, there's levels to every.
I
aspect
would
of
say
it.
at the upper end of vending, you're going to talk to a guy like Poke Network. That's
Yeah.
the dude with the Charizard onesie, and he's selling millions of dollars of vintage sealed stuff at his shows, and he goes to the big collecticons and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. At the upper end of streaming, you're dealing with who's the guy? Wenzel. Would you say he's on the upper end?
I would say someone like Ryan's Card House or
Sure.
Blazin' Cards. Like those guys are streaming and they have like employees.
They have 24/7 streams with
Wenzel
employees.
is I mean he's got a big stream. They're doing
lot.
a lot of sales, but I think it's just him and another guy.
Wow, that's
Kind of
impressive.
something like we are.
Yeah, that's very
know?
impressive. I mean, because that dude will literally open thousands of
Yeah.
packs in a night. It is
exactly.
crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
So yeah, there's levels to everything. You are not going to be at the level of a Dragonate
yeah, no.
or a Wenzel TCG or a whatever.
But
up-
it's you
up
can
top.
get there.
You can
I
get
mean,
there.
you could start tomorrow and you could eventually work your way up to get there.
Big caveat to this is
Maybe not Poke Network level.
for
but-
that's a whole other thing. Quick caveat to this. I was at Collecticon with my father, and I went up to a booth. Collecticon's the big show, by the way.
Mhm.
In Miami area, we went. And we went up to a table, and the guy had every high-end vintage thing you've ever seen at a table. He had a Masaki Gengars. He had reverse hollow Charizards. He had it all. And I didn't want to ask anything personal. And I was like, wow, I wonder. And my dad, who doesn't give a shit, went back and asked the guy, like, hey, man, how'd you get all this shit? He didn't care. And the guy said, oh, I have 2 real estate companies that are in 4 different cities. He was a very successful man.
Yeah.
So the caveat is, if you're watching this and you are already a millionaire or whatever, you got to learn some knowledge. But if you have $1 million to drop into Pokemon,
Yeah.
yes, you can probably pretty quickly start off at a high
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
But that person could also lose a lot of that money if they don't have the right knowledge and the right. I imagine that person will have the right business savviness.
Sure.
That's but just the knowledge.
Yeah,
you
but
got to
you
know
need,
what
you need
to
the
do.
knowledge. I mean, again, we're talking to the Joe Schmo of
For sure. Well, we're calling our listeners Joe Schmo. By the way, if you're watching, you're a fucking Joe
Yeah,
Schmo.
you're a schmuck.
We should call you know how like podcasters call their like fan bases like a thing?
yeah.
We should call ours the Joe.
The Joe
Just
Schmoes.
fully insult our. That's very funny. Yeah. So again, we're talking levels here. Bottom level, I would say that if you want to do not so much an online route, you're vending. You are taking in inventory as you can. You're keeping that cash to have the inventory. Again, keep the job so you can survive and do things. Now, we talked about how online has its negatives.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the obvious negatives of in-person.
Sure.
First of all, you got to go to these places.
You do.
I live in Austin. There's shows pretty much all over Austin, and obviously, definitely in Dallas and Houston.
Austin's a pretty small city, so
Yeah,
if it's
if
this
you live
active,
if you live in Missoula, Montana,
yeah.
you might have a harder time.
I mean, I'll tell you, one of the reasons I moved to Texas is because I knew Pokemon is huge in Texas.
Yes,
You know, it was like between Texas and Florida,
interesting.
which both of them have huge
Big.
Pokemon, markets.
Yeah, specifically Dallas.
Yeah.
For which, long story short, Dallas was a sports card hub for years and years. It still is. Huge shows all the time. Through osmosis over the years, Pokemon found its way in Dallas as a center. And so Austin definitely doesn't compete with Dallas in terms of size and scope.
Sure, but it's in between,
exactly,
3 major cities, which is
totally fine. And it totally gets the job done here.
Yeah.
The scene is great. But the negatives would be you do have to go.
Sure.
And by the way, it is a damn hustle. When you're at that show, you're standing for 8 hours.
Oh, yeah.
I move a lot from table to table talking to the vendors and doing deals. So I don't just sit and wait for somebody to come up. I'm getting out there. If I have something that I don't want, I'm going to try to trade it to somebody who might want it and has something I want. So I try to hustle as much as I can at the shows. It is a grind. Hey, if you are not a people's person and you don't like the face-to-face interaction, you're more of an introvert.
Which is kind of funny because we were just talking about this, how, some people do deals and they're like, shaking hands and not looking at the person in the eye.
Yes.
Right?
I would say, yeah. So you're jumping into etiquette.
Yeah.
Now, I hope I'm not trying to call out anybody. We're not going to say names or
Don't
whatever.
say names.
But I feel like the Pokemon card industry, at least at the shows, it's a new industry. Like at the level, of course, Pokemon's been around, but at the level of what's happening with Pokemon now, this is newer. That this is like a legitimate business, a legitimate whatever. I brought my dad, like I said, to this Collecticon, and he's a business guy. He's a man in his late 60s. And the one thing he kept saying was he was impressed that there was a lot of money going on. He was like, that's cool. But he kept saying, wow, this is so like new and like novice. And he did say unprofessional. There's people with, again, I have a counter argument to what I'm about to say. He was like, there's people with flip-flops and their stomachs are hanging out. And at first, and in general, I do agree with him. I think it's weird. I don't particularly even like it. Not that I care really, but there's a flip side to it, which is, okay, it's unprofessional. He's used to corporate America. But the whole point of Pokemon and us putting money into Pokemon is that, like, we're just a bunch of guys who want to do this for fun.
Just a bunch of men.
So if anything, that is actually part of the charm, is that we can put on flip-flops.
Yeah.
And it might not be my flavor,
Sure.
but you can do that. So there's a gray area into it. But something where I don't think is a gray area is I see a lot of vendors. I see a lot of vendor POV videos.
Yeah.
And whether it's the age maybe of some of the vendors or just younger, or whatever, there are guys doing deals for a lot of money, and they'll do this. I don't know if the cameras are going to capture it. Yeah, would you do 1,100?
Yeah.
All right, cool, man, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, cool. It's like a limp handshake.
And like look away, no eye contact.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Very
man. Yeah,
like, you know,
whatever. I guess.
Fine.
Or yeah, sure, we'll do 1,000. If somebody was asking me, wear your flip flops if that's your vibe. Truly, wear what your vibe is. But when you're doing a deal, you gotta look the guy in the eye. You gotta have a firm hand. I mean, come on, man. Like, we are the Card Men podcast.
Hey, you're a man.
I cannot possibly say that
Give
you
a
shouldn't.
solid handshake.
And don't say,
Ugh.
Sure.
1,000?
I
Can you
guess.
do 950?
You make it a joke.
Fine.
1,000, man, you're ripping me off, but let's do it. Make it a joke. Make it an enjoyable experience for the person you're, whether it's another vendor or not. Because if I'm doing a deal with someone and maybe it is $100 less than I wanted, I'll make a joke of it. But you know what? I'm going to come back and do a deal. You better I'm going to rip you off next time.
Yeah.
You can have fun with it. You can be stupid with it. You can wear your goddamn flip-flops if you want.
Gosh darn flip-flops.
But I think so. I say this part of the conversation I add to this vendor part is that is a part of it.
Yeah.
That is like, you are doing business. You're at the marketplace. If you aren't going to be the person to, do those things, I mean, by the way, I say this all to say there's people doing deals online, practicing these kinds or not practicing these kinds of things, doing way bigger deals than I've ever done. So like, maybe I'm the fucking wrong guy. But
who are we to judge?
Maybe I'm the wrong guy. But
doing something right.
I would say that that is a factor for the in-person. If in the way that I heard you talking about taking pictures, and there's just some part of me that's like, if you are listening, like, oh, I gotta like deal with people and shake hands on, and then maybe it's not your path.
Yeah.
Now, bigger positive for vending. This is for a certain type of person with a certain kind of chutzpah, to keep it Jewish, is there is a nice opportunity if you have the right knowledge, you have the right capital to get into the higher end. You can't really sell a $4,000 slab on a stream. You kind of, you know what I'm saying?
It's also risky.
To ship it, to streaming, there is a cap to
It's
the
risky
kinds of product.
chargebacks and this, that, the
Of
other.
course.
Yeah, it's very risky.
And so maybe somebody out there is excited about the higher end stuff. They just kind of hear it and they're like, dude, I want to like buy and sell things. I'm like this. I'm not doing it yet. I want to do this. I'm telling you, somebody who does not do these kinds of deals yet, who is excited to one day get there. That is a positive for the vending part, is that you can position yourself to be like, dude, I mean, there's a guy online. The dude's 16. He's a monster. High-end heaven. Dude is doing, he did a deal for a couple gold stars at $700,000. 16 years old, killer. I don't care if he's using his parents' money. That's crazy cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's awesome. You can't do that on a stream. You can't do a deal for a $700,000 gold stars.
Well, you know what? If we're gonna go back to Diamond District talk,
sure.
okay, you got Vukum
like Vukum
doing multi-million-dollar eBay streams.
You're right, and he
so
and he ships.
It is possible.
Maybe
it is possible.
Maybe that he is a beacon of what the future of Pokemon could look, is that we are doing online deals for huge type items.
Yeah.
Does he ship?
I don't know.
I mean, he has to.
Probably.
So he'll ship a 6-figure watch.
Maybe.
Wow.
I mean, how else are they going to get it to them?
I imagine there are a VIP type shipping services that exist.
I mean, yeah, you could do like, expedited shipping.
No. I'm
like one day.
No. I'm talking about like
a
companies,
handcuff to
like,
a bodybuilder.
I'm talking about companies come to your home, they pick it up, they get on a plane themselves. Like it's a much more.
I mean, I don't know.
We'll see.
It's still eBay.
Maybe in the future, it'll become more of a thing for very upper end cards to be shipped in the stream way. Yeah. For now, you should be going to the places.
Yeah.
And to add that, if you are really somebody in that upper end, you are going to the Collecticons, the big shows, which means you're legitimately traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So like this high end guy, I've seen him online at he's in San Francisco, he's in Miami. These people are traveling. Bulbasaur, all these people are traveling. If you're sitting there saying, kind of sounds fun to like get on a plane and crisscross the country and do this, kind of lifestyle, great.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like, I do not want to do that. You can stick local to your place. I'm cool with traveling, but if somebody like me was like, I don't want to fly, I live in Austin. There is more than enough business happening between San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, and Austin that somebody like me would be fine.
For sure
I'm down to travel, but yeah, so the in-person, I don't want to say it has more upside. Again, I think the scalability of online has more upside.
Yeah.
But I hope, we can add some finishing touches here, but I hope that if you are interested, you can see that there is a path of online craziness.
There is. Yeah.
Good and bad. There's a path of in-person craziness, good and bad. And there's so many.
There's other things you can do.
You're talking about periphery stuff.
Yeah, like, there's the whole card restoration side of...
There are businesses that exist in trading cards outside of the buying and selling of trading
There's
cards.
like hosting shows.
Yep.
You could go to shows and be very picky on the single cards you buy and then send them to, grading company like PSA.
You're like a professional grader.
Yeah.
I've met these guys.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few other things you could do that,
I'll say two things. one, to clarify, when you meant hosting shows, you meant you could be the person to put on your own vending event.
You can.
You can rent the hotel in your hometown to do it.
We don't have experience with it.
I don't either.
But
it's funny.
But you did it with comedy.
So when I was a stand-up comedian, I produced a lot of in-person shows. Yeah. Some people, they're called Can't Even Comedy. They were really, and still are, good comedy producers. They have gotten into the Pokemon sports card game. Mm-hmm. They now have a local Austin show called the Mom and Pop card show. I'm going to be vending it.
Yeah.
So there are other ways. And I would say, and I mean this sincerely, the best non-card reselling business that you can start peripheried around trading cards is probably the one that doesn't exist yet. So I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
If you have a creative idea of a business is solving problems. Do you see a problem in the world of trading cards that isn't possibly solved? Somebody at some point created a business initially of card restoration where they were
That's true.
I don't know who the first guy was, but somebody out there was like, I should probably rent a hotel and have a bunch of vendors come and set up a table and do this.
Yeah.
What problem do you see? Yeah. If I saw one,
I'd be the pioneer in this new thing.
Well, and again, the sincerity comes from the fact that we are in a very specific time for trading cards. where technology, AI is coming in. If there is a time
Yeah.
where things are going to happen like that, it's
Mhm.
going to be right now.
That's
There are
true.
some deep-pocketed people already doing things online. They're trying, like there's a Gem Mint is the new, whatever, the new one that was on the Logan Paul. He was involved with the Logan Paul stream.
Yeah.
This guy's starting a thing where it's like tokenizing, Pokemon cards. That's obviously on the tech side of stuff and more
Yeah.
the crypto side of stuff. But I don't know. So like get out there and solve your own, problems and
Yeah.
start a business and make, there's a local guy. This is a great example. There is a local vendor. I've met him only briefly. His name's Goro Slabs.
Okay.
First of all, this dude's collection and his inventory is like about as top tier as you can get. But I guess he has a background as an engineer. The dude has these things called, I'm going to forget it.
Oh, the cases.
It's not just the cases, it's the lifts.
Yeah.
This guy 3D prints these cool color-coded lifts, Arsenal displays. Arsenal displays
Yeah,
where
that's true.
you have a case and you can put in the case these little lifts
Yep.
that present
So
your
instead
cards.
of your cards being flat, they're angled, and then you have the graded
What
card
a super
sleeves, the
specific
protectors.
It's not even the display, it's like the thing in the display.
Yeah.
What a smart thing the guy sells and
There
has
you
a
go.
business. So there's little things like that
Mhm.
that you can go out and do. And
Graded
then
card protectors. You know.
I guess, and what I'm about to say is I'm learning. So
Yep.
this is not me saying go do it. This is learning, which is I think overall, if you have the chutzpah, the
Chutzpah.
inventory over time and the desire to do everything, the best, back to the reselling part, the best Pokemon reselling type business, if this is like a thing you want to do, is probably a solid mix of both.
Yep.
It is probably a solid mix. And that's why I say I don't know, because I'm just doing it myself. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to sit here and preach like I'm some expert. But we have now begun more officially the dual-headed monster of
That's
there's
right.
an in-person element and there is an online element. For our purposes, the stream's purposes, we're probably not selling at the shows.
Yeah, exactly. It's more for sourcing. And,
It's more for sourcing.
yeah.
But while I'm at the shows, I'm doing my little things on the side. I kind
And
of
if
have
we
two
ever get
cases.
something that's too big for the stream, which
Could happen.
could happen,
But it seems as if
then that's where the in-person sales
a
comes into play.
combination of online sales, in-person buying, and sales possibly is what a lot of people are doing, and is probably the way. Different stuff sells at different places, different skill sets.
That's right.
And so and you guys are, quite frankly, this is episode 3. You guys are seeing kind of the beginnings of what we're doing. So
That's right.
I mean, I'm not sitting here like I'm some expert. I'm beginning 9 months ahead of you. So
Exactly.
go work harder than I did, and catch up, and we can all have a podcast together, and I can
Nice.
learn from your dumbasses wherever you live. If you're in Missoula, Montana,
Missoula.
anything else to add? We had a pretty solid conversation.
That was nice.
That was so nice.
That was nice. Go
Any
start
other-
a Pokemon
Any other
business.
anti-Semitic remarks you people want to say to me before we?
You people. Anti-Semite.
Yeah. Well, other than that, go fucking do this. And
Yeah, go do it.
And I guess the final note is, like, if you're watching this, the market is crazy hot. It might
It
be
is.
scary. Things are expensive. No better time than today to jump in if
That's
this is
right.
something you want to do as a little hustle,
Yep.
side hustle, a main thing. I don't know, but well, we're the Card Men, huh?
Card men.
I'm Damaged Cards. This is CharizardBaba. Check out our stream Fridays. Our vintage mystery box is a thing on Fridays.
We're starting a modern box.
starting a modern box.
We don't have a day set for it yet, but it's going to be midweek.
Kind of, sort of Tuesday.
Yeah.
That it's going to be the same thing as our vintage, and the chases for the upcoming box is a Mega Charizard SIR, a Lugia V Altard. The
Just
box
a bunch of bangers.
the box after that is a Sylveon SIR,
Another Mega Charizard.
a gold Zekrom from Legendary Treasures, like
Yeah,
a $400
wow.
card.
Yeah.
So we have some crazy stuff, and my YouTube is getting going on Damaged Cards. I'll tell you when that's really out.
Yep.
You are the king of
CharizardBaba. Go, if you guys want to learn about card restoration, go to my Patreon, CharizardBaba.
and specifically if you want to do it yourself at home,
That's right.
buy his kit.
Yes.
You can literally have all the
TikTok shop
tools
or-
and liquids, and
All the links are in the descriptions.
I guess that's
so
all we have to
that's it.
say. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.